Here we go. Happy 2025 NFL off season.
Purdy out of the shotgun, drops a couple of steps, going to take a deep shot to Brandon Ayuk. It's deflected and caught.
Cousins, first read taken away. Left side, he throws. Wide open pass. Being able to make a play on that football. That's where Sutter was so good last year in the red zone. Nix evades the run. Nix the fake. Another fake, and he spins into the end zone. They're going to get a free play. Rodgers is the master at it, and a touchdown by Lazard. Jones on the fake. Pressure coming, and he's sacked by Parsons.
God, corner.
Motion man Hudson.
The throw caught. Hudson lost the ball. Looked like a touchdown. Instead, it's a turnover.
On the pocket. Cuts away from Chenal, who's trying to get after him for a second time, but the ball is thrown to the end zone, and it's caught! On it to McCaffrey, right up the middle, and a stiff arm, McCaffrey for 6.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? And happy 2025 NFL offseason. Yes, that's right. One of the most exciting times of the NFL football calendar is officially here. We are into the offseason. It's one of the greatest times of the year. NFL free agency kicks off next week, and it's going to go like this, and that, man. It's so exciting. Cannot wait for it, man. And, welcome in to our NFL 2025 off-season preview special show here on the IM6 Network, as well as the MI6 Sports Network. I want to welcome in both of our viewers that are tuning in right now, wherever you guys may be. Appreciate you guys for tuning in to this show tonight. We might have some colleagues of mine come on later on in the show. We got a jam-packed show tonight. We got a lot of things to talk about. A couple NFL news to get into. The big Deebo Samuel trade that happened over the weekend. And then we are going to go to do some fun activities. We're going to pick. We have 20 free agents. We're going to pick where they will land in this free agency, and then we'll get into some NFL trade candidates, whether they will stay at their respective team or they will go to a new destination and be traded this offseason. So if you guys have some popcorn, if you guys got some soda, take that and, get into your seat and buckle up, because it's going to be a phenomenal program here tonight. But before we get into the show, I do want to say, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to put it in our comment section, fire it into the comment section, light our comment section up, and we'll read it live on the air for you. As you guys can see, it is St. Patrick's Day month, or St. Patty's Day month. We got the green shamrock with the lucky bucket and the rainbow out here. So this whole month, we're going to be in the St. Patrick's Day clover leaf lucky charms mood here tonight. Also, if you guys like what you guys are seeing, go ahead and follow, subscribe to our MI6 Sports Network, as well as our IM6 Network pages on both Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as well as YouTube as well. So, guys, let's go. Let's have some fun tonight. Let's have some football fun. You know, you guys all know I'm a Niners fan, so I had just had to rep my boy Drew Lock. He is a free agent, so we'll see. We might even put him in the script tonight. We shall see. But let's get into it, folks. Let's get into it. Big news out of Santa Clara, California. This past Saturday, the 49ers, it's an end of an era as the 49ers traded wide receiver Deebo Samuel to the Washington Commanders in exchange for a 5th-round pick here in 2025. Samuel is now going to be paired with Terry McLaurin and Jaden Daniels in Washington, and also back with former 49ers executive Adam Peters, who is now the top executive in Washington. The Niners get a 5th-round pick. They move on from Deebo Samuel, and also reports have come out that the San Francisco 49ers might not be done. The San Francisco 49ers are reportedly open to also trading away wide receiver Brandon Ayuk as well. It would be a massive development if they do indeed do that, because he just signed a massive 5-year contract extension last offseason after a months-long drama and saga that went well into training camp. Ayuk finally signed an extension with the 49ers, but there was a lot of back and forth, a lot of contentious vitriol that went into it. The 49ers, Ayuk unfortunately got injured, during the season. He tore his ACL and his MCL, as well as a meniscus in the knee. So Niners could be moving on from Ayuk as well. But the big news, they have moved on from Deebo Samuel. And folks, as you guys all know, I'm a die-hard San Francisco 49ers fan. I'm gonna put on this jersey right now because it's more appropriate, right? It's more appropriate because I am a Niners fan. I'm not a Broncos fan. I love my guy Drew Lock, but I'm gonna put this on to talk about this topic here on the show. The thing is that I'm not really surprised by this move. I'm not surprised by this move because I felt like this was coming. Deebo Samuel, I love Deebo Samuel. I think he's a really great playmaker, and I want to thank him for everything that he's done for the San Francisco 49ers. But let's face it, Deebo Samuel is cooked. He's washed. He's no longer the player that he was back in 2021 or 2020 or even 2019 when he first broke out onto the scene. Deebo Samuel is not that guy anymore. So I'm not surprised at all that he moved on and the Niners moved on from him. I thought this was coming. I said it last year multiple times that they needed to move on from Deebo Samuel, that it was time to get rid of Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel, the problem with him is that he has never been the best route runner on the team. He's never been the greatest route runner in the world. The thing that made Deebo Samuel so special was that he was tough, he was rough, he was fast, he was athletic, and he was really good in terms of, doing the jet sweeps and also doing the, you put him in the backfield, you give him the ball in the backfield, and he would run through guys, and he would break tackles, and he would just power through like 3 to 4 defenders. That's what made Deebo Samuel good. When Deebo Samuel was a receiver, the other team, they couldn't really keep up with him because Kyle Shanahan, being the brilliant offensive mind that he is, Kyle Shanahan would diagram and scheme Deebo Samuel open. That way Deebo would make catches and then he would have space to work with because he was such a good receiver after the catch. But the problem was when he got older, he's now in his 30s. When he got older, he didn't take care of his body. He was, always coming into camp overweight and out of shape. As we do have a guest joining our program right now. But, yeah, we do have a guest joining us, I see, but I think we have some technical difficulties on his end. But you know, Deebo Samuel, he was never in shape. He was always out of shape. And that's tough when you get older, because when you get older and you're not the best route runner in the world, you're not known for your route running skills, which ages like fine wine as a receiver. Well, then, you are going to be you're going to not age well. And so Deebo lost his athleticism. He lost his speed. And so when he did that, he was never the same guy again. And so that's why you saw the last couple of seasons, Deebo Samuel has had career lows in terms of production. He lost his athleticism. He lost his physical, or he not lost his athleticism, he lost his speed, and he's just not the same. Now, when you put Deebo in the backfield, you give it to him. Deebo can't break tackles. Deebo can't run by guys anymore because he doesn't have that attribute of his game anymore. Instead, it's a 1-yard run, or he gets back to the line of scrimmage. Before, it was like a 10, 15, 20-yard run. But now it's just line of scrimmage, or he only gains like 1 or 2 yards, and it's minimal gain for Deebo Samuel. So I'm not surprised the Niners moved on from him. I think it was about time that they moved on from him. I wish Deebo Samuel nothing but luck in Washington. It's kind of crazy that they have Deebo and Terry McLaurin on the team there in Washington, because I feel like Deebo and I feel like McLaurin are kind of the same guys in terms of both guys. McLaurin's kind of like not really the best route runner. He can run good routes, but I just feel like that McLaurin's kind of like Deebo, where he relies on his speed. He relies on his athleticism. And right now, yeah, you can get away with that because you're young, right? You're explosive. But wait till what happens, in a few years. So I think McLaurin is what Deebo is, or Deebo is what McLaurin is going to be. And we have a comment from my guy, James Gonzalez. James says that, and James, I hope, you're almost home, because I really want you on the program to give your thoughts on the Raiders and some offseason stuff. But James says, I'm afraid Samuel's going to be the poison for Washington. Yeah, a big issue for Deebo was his decline in production on the field. Wasn't as bad, though, as I felt like his decline in his attitude off the field. Deebo Samuel never got in trouble, but you saw the fights, right? You saw the fights off the field, him and Jake Moody getting after it, where Jake Moody missed a couple of field goals in that game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Him getting into it with the punter. There were other stuff that was rolling around about Deebo Samuel and his antics in the locker room. And some stuff in the practice field as well that really hurt Deebo Samuel. So we'll see what happens. But for the 49ers, we're going to release Deebo Samuel anyway. So for us to get a 5th round pick, which is a solid pick, for us to get a 5th round pick back in return for Deebo Samuel, I think it's a huge get for the 49ers. There were talks that Jonathan Allen potentially could have been involved in that trade. I wonder why the Niners didn't make that move, because you do need help on the defensive line. And Jonathan Allen is a really, really good defensive lineman, a really good interior defensive lineman who can get after the quarterback, stop the run as well. I just think that this trade, it gives them a fresh start. The Niners get to move on. And I think that the concept of the Niners offseason, what John Lynch has said, and he said this at the Combine, was the Niners wanted to get younger, they wanted to get faster, and they wanted to get more athletic. They felt like this team reached its ceiling with the guys that they have, right? They felt like this team, they're older now. I think they're one of the oldest teams in the NFL. They want to get back to athleticism and speed. So not surprised that they moved on from Deebo. It was coming. To get a 5th round pick is amazing. And now let's turn our attention to Brandon Ayuk, right? Let's turn our attention to this news that broke on Saturday after the Deebo Samuel trade broke. The Niners being open to trading Ayuk, I'm not surprised at all about that either, because, and I've said this from the get-go, when Ayuk got injured, and when he had that lack of production, because let's face it, Brandon Ayuk was awful last year. I don't think he had one touchdown catch all season long. There were a lot of drops by him in big situations that you never, ever, 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 ever see from Brandon Ayuk. I think the Niners should trade Brandon Ayuk too, because I don't think Ayuk is going to be the same player that he was before his injury. What Brandon Ayuk suffered is a major catastrophic injury. He's never going to be the same again. This dude, unfortunately, his knee is cooked. He tore his ACL, he tore his MCL, and he tore his meniscus, all in one knee. And when you're a receiver, you need your knees to be good in order to run routes and catch passes. And especially with Ayuk, he's a really good route runner, and you need to be able to cut and move and, swerve. I don't think Ayuk's going to have that athletic abilities anymore. A receiver coming back from a torn ACL itself, that's really tough to come back from. Yeah, you see guys that come back. You see a lot of guys come back from it, but they take a while to come back. Not only did Ayuk tear one ACL, he tore his MCL and his meniscus. So, he's cooked. So, I think the Niners, they should move off of Ayuk as well. Get out of the contract. Cut your losses while you can right now. And, I think they should move off of him and then go get a draft pick. And we'll talk about where Ayuk could land later on in the show. But I think that with Brandon Ayuk, I don't think he's going to be the same. I think it's time to cut your losses, get whatever you can get back for him, move off the contract, see if someone else is willing to take on that contract, and go from there. Go from there. I think it's time to start fresh with receiver. You have Ricky Pearsall, you have Juwan Jennings, but like John Lynch said, it's time to go young. It's time to get more athletic at the wide receiver position. That's why I was never a fan of paying Deebo Samuel all that money, because Deebo Samuel, when you're a receiver, you got to be able to run great routes. Deebo Samuel has never been a good route runner. He's always been that guy to rely on athleticism and speed. With Brandon Ayuk, yes, he was a great route runner, but I just don't like the idea of paying a wide receiver $30 million. That's too much money, in my opinion, for a wide receiver. You can go into the draft and consistently get wide receiver after wide receiver after wide receiver. Each year, we always see there's 3 to 4 wide receivers that turn out to be really good wide receivers come out of the NFL draft. So if I'm a GM, I am not going to pay a wide receiver $30 million plus. If it's Justin Jefferson, fine. But you can get receivers in the draft. You can consistently get wide receivers, whether it's in the draft or whether it's, through free agency, that would cost less and benefit your team. So I think the Niners should move off of Ayuk. I think that, Brandon Ayuk, sadly, his knee is cooked. I don't think he's going to be the same wide receiver that he was prior to the injury. And I think that it's time for San Francisco to move off of both Deebo and Brandon Ayuk. So that's my thoughts on that. Give me your thoughts, guys. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that the 49ers, you guys think that the San Francisco 49ers, should they move off of Brandon Ayuk? Now that they've moved off of Deebo Samuel, what do you guys think about the Deebo Samuel move? Give me your thoughts on that, and then I'll be able to read it live on the program. Anyways, guys, we'll take a quick commercial break. We'll get back into the show. Let's take a quick commercial break. All right, guys, we are back. Let's get into the second NFL news of the night before we get into our offseason preview, and that is, did the Vikings make a mistake by not franchise tagging Sam Darnold? Sam Darnold was not given the franchise tag today by the Minnesota Vikings, as today was the franchise tag deadline day. in the NFL. Darnold was not given the franchise tag deadline, and now he's going to be one of the top free agents, arguably in the market, especially for teams that need quarterbacks. He's going to be one of the top free agents out there in the market. Do I think it was a mistake that Sam Darnold was not given the franchise tag by the Minnesota Vikings? For me, I'm going to say yes. I think it was a big mistake because I think that if you gave Sam Darnold the franchise tag, right? The franchise tag this year, I think is like what, 40 million, something like that for quarterbacks. You know, number one, you have leverage, right? You can have that backup option if something were to happen to JJ McCarthy, or JJ McCarthy's not ready. You can have that option, right? And you can have Darnold and McCarthy battle it out in training camp. Also, you know, if you franchise tag Darnold, you know, there's a lot of quarterback needy teams out there this year, right? Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson is, he's coming off a major injury. I don't think he's going to be the same. They need a quarterback. The New York Giants need a quarterback. Las Vegas Raiders need a quarterback. You know, you could have traded him. You could have tagged him and then traded him to one of these teams that need a quarterback and then, you know, got some assets back in return, whether it was like, you're not going to get a first round pick, obviously, but you could have gotten like a late, maybe third round pick, fourth round pick, in return for Sam Darnold, because quarterbacks, look, teams need quarterbacks, right? And obviously, they value quarterbacks very high. So you could have gotten a decent pick back in return that could have helped you build around your team. So I do believe that not giving Sam Darnold the franchise tag, I think it was a mistake. I think that the Vikings, you know, I mean, now they're going all in on the JJ McCarthy era. In Minnesota, they're going all in on it. McCarthy's got to be the guy now, right? Because you lost that backup plan in Sam Darnold unless they work out some, other new deal, which I don't think they will, because you look at Minnesota, like, are they really going to give Sam Darnold like a 2-year, let's say 2-year, $80 million contract? No, because they have JJ waiting in the wings. So JJ's got to be the guy now. He's got to be the guy because Sam Darnold is no longer there. That era is finished. And, I've never been a big fan of Sam Darnold. I always think that he kind of was like the Vikings franchise, which is a fraudulent player. He's a guy that does well when there's no pressure, but when there is pressure, and you got to give credit to him, obviously he had a great year, but when there is pressure and big time moments, he always shrinks. And that's what happened in this situation. So I don't think that it's a good move for the Vikings to not give him the tag. I think you got to give him the tag. You should have given him the tag and then got leverage all over the place. You could have gotten leverage, could trade him, got some assets back. You could have had a backup plan for JJ McCarthy. Like, if you think JJ's your guy, right? If you think JJ's the guy, okay. But if you're not confident, he's coming off a knee injury as well, you gotta have that backup vault. And the Vikings just lost that by not giving Sam Darnold the franchise tag. So that's my thoughts on that. Now let's get into the fun part, the NFL offseason preview. Here we go, folks. NFL offseason preview. I'm a Niners fan, so we're going to get into some team previews, what I think the Niners need to do, and then we'll get into the stay or go and free agent game. We'll get into that. All right, Niners. What do the Niners need to do, right? What do the Niners need to do? What are some moves that I want the Niners to make? The Niners obviously need to extend Brock Purdy. That should be item 1 on the agenda for the San Francisco 49ers. This man, I will pay this man. I don't care. I will pay this man $55 to $60 million because he deserves it. In his 2 years starting with the Niners, before this year, before all the injuries happened and everything happened, the San Francisco 49ers went to an NFC championship, and had he not gotten hurt, the San Francisco 49ers would have won that NFC championship game and gotten to the Super Bowl with Brock Purdy in his rookie year. And arguably, I think they would have won the Super Bowl had he not gotten hurt. But he got hurt. He came back last year or the year before last year, and proved that his elbow wasn't bothering him, wasn't a problem. And guess what? He led you to the Super Bowl. He led you to a great win over the Detroit Lions in the NFC Championship game. And he led you to a great win over the to do well in that game, to put the Niners in position to win that football game. But his defense let him down. His offensive line let him down. I don't blame Brock Purdy at all for that. You should have won that Super Bowl if you're the San Francisco 49ers. This year, any quarterback would have faltered because your star running back was hurt. Your star tight end was hurt for some time this season. Debo was hurt. He was not effective. Brandon Ayuk tore his ACL in the latter parts or midway part of the season. Your defense was giving up a lot of yards every single game and points every single game. It was just a complete disaster. So the number one agenda on the San Francisco 49ers list of things to do this offseason, extend Brock Purdy. Give him whatever $60 million, give it to him because he's proven, especially with his winning, with his clutch gene, with what he's done, with his ability to master the Kyle Shanahan offense. Brock Purdy has shown you he is a franchise quarterback. So definitely give it to him. That's number one on the agenda. Number two, I want the Niners to beef up the offensive line. I have said this for years. The 49ers always cheaping out on the offensive line because Kyle Shanahan thinks that, who needs offensive line? We just need the receivers, we need the tight ends, we need the toys, get the quarterback. Well, why did the Chiefs lose that Super Bowl against the Philadelphia Eagles? Because their offensive line got pushed around and they couldn't give Mahomes time to throw the football. When you don't have any time to throw the football, you are going to suck. Plain and simple. Tom Brady would suck if he didn't have an offensive line to protect him. So beef up that offensive line. The Niners were one of the most sacked teams in all of NFL this past season. We couldn't run the football because our guys couldn't protect or couldn't open up running lanes. We got to get new tackles. We got to get new guards. We got to get everything this upcoming offseason, beef up the offensive line, and then get younger at the skill position talent or skill positions, wide receivers, tight ends, running backs. Look, if Ashton Junty out of Boise State is available, I'm taking him with that pick. If Tyler Warren, the star tight end from Penn State, if he's available at pick number 11, I am taking him. And you can have a George Kittle and Tyler Warren, combination at tight end, which would be deadly. Wide receivers, got to get younger, got to get more athletic, right? If Devontae Adams wants to come for cheap, heck, I'd take him too, even though he's older, because he's that veteran wide receiver who's a very, very skilled route runner. And I think Devontae Adams, his game still is able to thrive in the NFL. He just needs a good quarterback. And I think Brock Purdy would be able to be that guy for Devontae Adams. So, yeah, I want the Niners to extend Brock Purdy. I want the Niners to beef up the offensive line. And you know what? I want the Niners to sign Davante Adams. He's definitely better than Debo. He's better than a injured Brandon Ayuk. Like, you need a veteran there. Go get him. Go get younger receivers as well in the draft. And then I think on defense, we got to build up the defensive line. Leonard Floyd was, okay for the Niners. He wasn't the best of the best, but you need a guy that can be able to rush after the quarterback opposite of Bosa. The secondary was awful last season. We need two new safeties on the defense. So that's what I want the Niners to do. I want the Niners to do all that this offseason, and I think we can return to Super Bowl contention as Super Bowl 50 or Super Bowl 60 is at Levi Stadium this upcoming or next season. I want to, I've done so much talking already. I want to welcome in my guy, Shardul Gupta, to the show, man. Diehard Niners fan just like me. Shardul, welcome to the program. I hope you are doing well. This is our NFL off-season special. I'll give you the floor because I've done a lot of talking already. Shardul, how are you doing, my friend? And welcome to the show.
I'm a big fan of the MI6 Sports Network. I think you do a great job on this network. I think you got all your co-hosts, Loro, part of this network. I think you do a phenomenal job. I have to give you credit on that part. I love all your content on YouTube. Um, and I think you do a great job also. Um, I love tuning into your show anytime I can get the chance to. I love to get the opportunity to come on here. Um, but my thoughts on the Debo Samuel trade to the Commanders. Um, I think that it was. I think I was seeing. I could clearly see that coming. That Debo Samuel would go to Washington. Because he wasn't when he was on the Niners, he was dropping passes, dropping balls. He wasn't looking like Debo when he was playing for the Niners. And now him going to Washington, I think he's gonna add a lot of like I think he's gonna make that team stronger when he goes to Washington with Jane Daniels and Terry McLaurin. Um, I mean, as a Debo Samuel fan, I didn't like to see him get traded because I wanted him to stay on the 49ers for a little bit longer and then get traded. But I think that, you know, it was a good move to send him over there. Um, I think he's gonna make that team a very. I think that's gonna be a very dangerous team with Debo Samuel playing for the Commanders. But
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, what were your thoughts? Like when you heard about when Debo got traded to the Commanders, were you saying that this is the most blasphemous thing you've ever heard about, or were you like, I understand that he went there, and I totally get his mindset of why he went to a totally different NFL team.
No, I wasn't surprised, Shardo. I thought that this was coming. I thought Debo Samuel, he's not the same player he once was. I think that he's washed. I don't think that he's gonna be the same guy. He lost his explosiveness, he lost his athleticism, he lost his ability to, get by like two or three defenders. So I think that he's washed, and I think that it's a good time for the Niners to get rid of him. It's time for us to get younger and faster and more explosive at wide receiver. I honestly, and I was going to get your thoughts on this next, is I would honestly trade Brandon Ayuk as well because I think Brandon Ayuk's knee is going to be cooked, right? Because he tore not one, not two, but three ligaments in his knee. Like, a guy tearing one ligament in his knee already, like that's a struggle to come back. But not only did he tear one ligament, he tore three ligaments in his knee. So I think the Niners, sadly, they got to move off of Ayuk. Get rid of that contract, trade him to somewhere. Maybe like New England will take him. I don't know, but we got to have a new fresh start. I feel like at wide receiver, we need younger receivers. We need guys that are more explosive, and we need guys that are more athletic than we have. But yeah, let me ask you. Speaking of Ayuk, what do you think about this report that after the Debo Samuel trade, the San Francisco 49ers are now open to trading Brandon Ayuk as well? What do you think about that?
So I'm a big fan of Brandon Ayuk. Big 49ers fan. I love this team so much. They've gone through the ups and downs in the season. Hopefully they can have a better season next year. They didn't make it to the Super Bowl this year, so that was a little bit heartbreaking. I think this team has a lot of potential to be one of the greatest teams in the NFL right now. And Brandon Ayuk's a star. Like he relies on Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy loves throwing at Ayuk. He's his main target. He loves throwing to him during games. But I don't think they should trade Ayuk because they paid him so much money, hoping he was going to be a star, and they're going to trade him now. Like then we won't have Debo Samuel's gone, and if Ayuk goes away, who else are we going to have? Who else is going to replace Brandon Ayuk? I mean, who else is going to replace him, right? If he leaves the Niners, we need to have somebody to replace Ayuk. We need to have a star player to replace Brandon Ayuk.
I agree. We do. And that's why I think that if we trade Ayuk, I think, look, we're going to get younger, right? Because every year in the draft, you have at least 3 to 4 receivers that are good receivers that could come in and be great receivers in the NFL. So I think if we do trade Ayuk, I think that we could get a really good receiver with the number 11 overall pick. Because there's, every year, like I said, there's great receivers coming out. Here's what I would tell you about a star to replace Ayuk. How about Devontae Adams? He just got released by the New York Jets today. Devontae Adams, when he played with the Jets last year, he was a really, really good receiver. So, and if the Jets are going to pay him a lot of money this upcoming season, right? Because they owe him a lot because of that contract. So you could get Devontae Adams for cheap. So I'm thinking, look, if we get rid of Ayuk, we get a draft pick back, we get to save a lot of money, give some of that money to Brock Purdy, and then give some of that money to the rest of your team. Why not go get Devontae Adams? Devontae Adams is a very good route runner. He's going to be a good veteran. He's a guy that's, I think he's won a Super Bowl already. So I think he would be, I think he would be the answer I think he would be better than Ayuk because number one, Ayuk's coming off that major injury. I just don't think he's going to be the same again. And number two, you get him for cheap. So that's also a major plus for the Niners.
I mean, as a 49er fan, when you see NFL players and you see that they're not the same that they once were, it's heartbreaking because they're not playing the same way they're playing. They're kind of getting a little rusty. They're not able to play as well as they are. As a 49er fan, that's not the way I want to go. Like, you always want players to be healthy, right? You want players to be as healthy as possible. They're in the gym every day. They're working hard every day. They're exercising every day in the gym. They're in the weight room all day, getting strong every day. And when they get rusty and they're not able to play as well, it's definitely, they're professional athletes and sometimes they're going to get rusty, but that's not the way you like to see this team. I mean, you don't like to see players get rusty and see that they're not playing at the rate that they want to play at, right? Like, that's not what you want to see in a professional athlete.
Yeah, no, definitely. But Chardot, let's get into the fun part of the show, the NFL free agency prediction game. We have 20 players lined up to predict for this show tonight. We're gonna go through all 20.
On the show, it's an honor that you have me on the show. I feel like I'm a star every time you have me on the show.
Oh, I appreciate that. But let's get into it. We have 20.
And I'm really excited for this part of the show. This is the exciting part of the show that I'm waiting for.
It is. It's the greatest part of the show. We got 20 free agents here right on this piece of paper. We got 20 free agents. Me and Chardot are just going to predict where these free agents are going to land. And then we have some trade candidates. We'll predict whether, like, these guys that are up to be traded, whether they're going to be traded or are they going to stay at their current team. And then that's going to be all for the show for tonight. Well, let's get into it. The NFL offseason prediction game.
Isaiah, so I wanted to join the show from my phone, but my phone was acting up on me. Looks like my Wi-Fi connection is not strong, so that's why I'm joining you from my laptop. Just to make you aware of that. I'm joining from my laptop. I'm not sure why it worked on my laptop. Maybe my Wi-Fi connection is strong on my laptop and it's kind of a little faulty on my phone. So that's why I'm letting you know that I'm joining you from my laptop. But it's working fine on here. I see you. I can hear you. Everything works fine.
Perfect.
I'm on the show.
Yep, you're on the show. All right, let's get into it, man. Yeah, let's get into it. So we got the first free agent out here. It's quarterback Sam Darnold of the Minnesota Vikings. Sam Darnold had a great year last year, led the Vikings to 14 wins. The Vikings are not giving him the franchise tag, which I think is an awful idea. But the Vikings are not going to give him the franchise tag. He is a free agent. So for me, Chardot, where do I think Sam Darnold is going to land this offseason? For me, you know what? I'm going to go with Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold goes to the Tennessee Titans. Sam Darnold ran a similar offense that Brian Callahan, the offensive coordinator, runs in Tennessee. The Titans, I don't know if they're going to draft a quarterback or not. They've been interviewing Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. I think Sam Darnold would be that perfect bridge quarterback to that next guy, or he could be the guy similar to Ryan Tannehill was in Miami. He could be that guy for a couple of years until a real franchise quarterback emerges, or he could be that franchise quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. Who knows? But I think Sam Darnold's a quality quarterback. I think that he's proven, though, however, he's not meant for the big stage. But don't worry, in Tennessee, you're not going to really have a lot of the big stage there. And Brian Callahan knows he's got to win because he has already had 2 GMs there. There's a new GM there. And normally when you have a new GM, they always want to hire their own coach. So I'm going to go with Sam Darnold to Tennessee. I think he's a perfect fit for the Titans. 2-3-year deal, could be the guy for a couple of years, stabilize the quarterback position in Tennessee, and then either hand it to the rookie, or you could be the guy moving forward there in Tennessee. And also, you're going to play against a weak division too. Jaguars suck. Texans, made the playoffs, but CJ Stroud did not look the same. The Colts sucked last year. So the Titans, they could be right back in it with some good offseason moves. So, Chardot, I'm going to ask you, Sam Darnold, where do you have him going this offseason?
So I'm going with Sam Darnold getting traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you think he's going to go to Pittsburgh?
And he's going to back up Justin Fields and the other quarterback he's going to back up Justin Fields and Russell Wilson.
Okay. So Chardot got him going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I got him going to the Tennessee Titans. It should be fascinating to see where he lands. But Chardot, remember, all of these guys are they're not trade candidates, so they're not getting traded. They're just signing with the other team. So just wanted you to be aware of that. But let's go to the next one. Star defensive tackle Milton Williams. He was really good at sacking the quarterback this past season. He was very, very good on that Eagles defensive line. Chardot, I'll go to you first on this. Milton Williams, where do you think he will sign with? What team you think he will sign with this offseason?
I'm going with Milton Williams signing with the Houston Texans.
Okay, I think I could see that. I could see Milton Williams going to the Houston Texans and improving their pass rush, because that's what I felt like they needed this past season. They didn't really have a lot of pass rush on the quarterback. You look at what happened in the postseason. For me with Milton Williams, that's tough. He just won a Super Bowl. He's very, very young. I need to see the teams that have a lot of cap space right now, because they're going to be giving him a monster contract, which he absolutely deserves. You know what, Chardot? For Milton Williams, I'm going to go with Milton Williams. To the Arizona Cardinals. Milton Williams, Arizona needs to improve that defense. He started his career under Jonathan Gannon, who was with Philadelphia. He's now the Cardinals head coach. They need to improve that defense. They were okay last year, but they want to get into the playoffs. You got to improve that defense. So Milton Williams would be that big boy in the middle of that defense to get after the quarterback. And you look at the NFC West, right? It's with Brock Purdy, Matthew Stafford coming back. You obviously have, we don't know what the situation in Seattle, what they're going to do at quarterback. So I'm going to go with Milton Williams to the Cardinals. I think it makes a lot of sense. He'll play in the same defense that he played in Philadelphia, or almost the same defense. So I got him going to Arizona. Let's go with offensive tackle Ronnie Stanley. He's going to be one of the best offensive tackles on the market this offseason. There's a lot of teams that need offensive linemen this upcoming offseason. So you got teams like Chardot, you got teams like the Patriots, the Raiders, who have a lot of cap space, the Cardinals, the Bears, Chargers, Commanders, Vikings, who have a lot of cap space, Steelers, Rams as well. Chardot, I'm going to go with Ronnie Stanley. Call me crazy, but I'm going to go with Ronnie Stanley to the San Francisco 49ers. I think Kyle Shanahan finally realizes that we need to improve and bolster our offensive line, that our offensive line is not that great. We have needed a right tackle for years and years and years, and Ronnie Stanley is a very, very good tackle. You know, you pair him with Trent Williams on the opposite side, that would help Brock Purdy a lot and protect Brock Purdy and give him time to throw the football and, you know, open up running lanes for the 49ers star running backs. Ronnie Stanley is a very good offensive lineman. He played in an offense that's similar to what Kyle Shanahan runs with the 49ers. So I think that, you know, he could go back to Baltimore. I could see it, but he's a guy that wants to win now. I could see him, coming to San Francisco. He's, big, strong, talented offensive lineman. I'm going to go Ronnie Stanley to the 49ers. How about you?
So I'm gonna go with Ronnie Stanley, signing with the Las Vegas Raiders. He's LA. He's born and raised in Las Vegas, Nevada. I think he's gonna bolster the Raiders offensive line. I think he's gonna be a good signing. I think that the Raiders are gonna definitely need a guy like him. So I'm going with the Las Vegas Raiders signing offensive tackle Ronnie Stanley.
All right. Now we move on to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers got released by the Jets, so he is a free agent. He's waving goodbye to New York and the Jets. However, there's another team in New York, the New York Giants. They need a quarterback. They are interested in Aaron Rodgers. Reportedly, Brian Dable and Joe Schoen, their head coach and GM, need to save their jobs. You've got other teams that are in need of quarterbacks, like the Raiders with Tom Brady, the owner, Pete Carroll there. You've got other teams that also could seek quarterbacks as well, like the Cleveland Browns. Chardon, I'll go to you first on this. Where do you think Aaron Rodgers lands? This is one of the high-profile free agents of this offseason.
So I would love to see Aaron Rodgers get traded to the San Francisco 49ers.
Wow, so you're going to move on from Brock Purdy and get Aaron Rodgers?
I mean, no, let me change it. So I would love to see Aaron Rodgers get traded to the New York Giants.
Okay, so you got Aaron Rodgers going to the Giants to help save Brian Dable and Joe Schoen's job. I could see that. I think that's a quality pick by you. Aaron Rodgers, this is tough. Oh my gosh. Aaron Rodgers, he's a guy that I don't know how much he has left, because he's a guy that doesn't, got injured a couple of years ago, wasn't really the same last year, but the Jets are, the Jets, they have a lot of drama, and they're not really that good, to be honest. They always have a lot of drama and turmoil. This is, oh man. You know what? I think he goes to the Giants as well. I think that Brian Dable and the Giants, they desperately need a quarterback, a veteran quarterback to help them out. They need a guy that can come in there and, kind of stabilize the quarterback position for a couple of years. They can't rely on a rookie because they need to save their jobs now and have, a winning season. So I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers to Big Blue. I think he goes to Big Blue for the Giants.
The New York Giants signing Aaron Rodgers. Isaiah's going with the Giants signing Aaron Rodgers as well. So we both are on the same slate here. We both agree on the same thing.
Yes, we do. Let's move on to another quarterback, Russell Wilson. He was with the Steelers. He's a free agent, Chardon. So Russell Wilson could either go back to Pittsburgh or he could go somewhere else. Pete Carroll and the Raiders, that could be a destination, reuniting with Pete Carroll there in Las Vegas. We both got Rodgers to the Giants, so that doesn't make sense. He could go to the Jets maybe, because the Jets do need a quarterback there. Yeah, that's tough. Chardon, I'll go to you first on this. Where do you think Russell Wilson lands?
So I would love to see Russell Wilson sign with the Atlanta Falcons.
Ooh, wow. Okay. That could happen. That could happen. That could happen. So Chardot, you got him going to the Falcons? Yeah, I think Chardot's got him going to the Falcons. It looks like he's having a little bit of tech issues here. But for me, I think it goes to the Raiders. That reunion with Pete Carroll. He fits Chip Kelly's offense. Chip Kelly likes mobile
And
quarterbacks to run the offense. So,
and
yeah, I think it goes to the Raiders.
I think so who was it Russell Wilson?
Yeah, you got Russell Wilson going to the Falcons, right?
Yeah, so I think Russell Wilson's gonna be a good fit on the Falcons. I think he's gonna thrive in that environment. Isaiah, I think you might be muted. By the way, I can't hear you. By the
Oh,
way,
yeah, I was muted. My bad. My bad. But yeah, like I was saying, I got Russell Wilson going to the Raiders just to reunite with Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll wants to, they have their relationship is better now, so I could see that. And I think Tom Brady wants a veteran quarterback there in Las Vegas, and he could also be a good mentor to Shedeur Sanders if he does get drafted by the Raiders. Let's move on to the next one. Running back. Najee Harris, the running back of the Steelers. Steelers have never really paid running backs a lot of money, so I could see him moving on from Pittsburgh. Chardot, for me, I am going to go with Najee Harris to the Las Vegas Raiders to team up with Russell Wilson. The Raiders have a lot of money to spend. The Raiders want to run the football. Pete Carroll wants to run the football. Chip Kelly, their new offensive coordinator, he wants to run the football a lot as well. Najee Harris is a power back. And you remember when Pete Carroll was in Seattle, right? He had Marshawn Lynch as his power running back. Najee Harris is not as big as Marshawn is, but he is a powerful running back, and it's hard to stop. So I could see, and also Russell Wilson, if he goes to the Raiders, he would have that connection already with Najee Harris from their days with Pittsburgh. So I got Najee to the Raiders. I think the Raiders get him. Pete Carroll wants to, quickly win in Las Vegas, so and be competitive. So I got Najee to the Raiders. I think the Raiders, give him a lot of money to come to Las Vegas, to be that power running back under Pete Carroll. They run the football a lot there in Vegas. So I got Najee going to Vegas. How about you? Where do you think Najee Harris lands in free agency?
So I'm also going with Najee Harris getting traded to the Las Vegas Raiders. I think he's gonna bolster their roster. I think he's gonna add strength and make them a strong team. So I'm going with Najee Harris going to the Las Vegas Raiders.
All right, so we both agree. We have Aaron Rodgers going to the Giants, and we've got Najee Harris going to the Raiders. So those are what me and Chardot have agreed on this evening. The next free agent on the list, number 7, we have Josh Sweat, defensive end of the Eagles. He was a star there for Philadelphia, one of the big-time sack leaders in the NFL this offseason. Chardot, for me, I'm looking at some of the teams that have a lot of cap space, right, and that need a court or need a defense or need help on the defensive side of the ball. For me, and Ben, I don't know if you're watching or not, but I got Josh Sweat, Chardot going to the. I got him going to the New England Patriots. Mike Vrabel is a defensive coach. He needs to bolster that defense. Josh Sweat would be a guy to help get after the quarterback there in New England. And they have a lot of money to be able to spend. So I think they're going to give him a lot of money and give him a big contract. So I got Josh Sweat going to the New England Patriots. How about you?
So I'm going with Josh Sweat. I'm going with them getting traded to the Arizona Cardinals, where his former defensive coordinator Jonathan Gannon is the head coach. I think that's a good destination for Josh Sweat.
I could see that. Yeah, pair back up with Jonathan Gannon. You know, I think I had Milton Williams going to the Cardinals to reunite with Jonathan Gannon. So we'll see what happens with Josh Sweat. Let's move on to the next one. Davante Adams. He was released today by the New York Jets. He's not going to cost a lot of money this offseason. And there is reports that he prefers either to go play with Aaron Rodgers again, wherever Aaron Rodgers ends up, or to go to a team on the West Coast. Chardot, for me, I got him going to our San Francisco 49ers. You know, Davante Adams has wanted to play for the 49ers. That's a team that, you know, had that interest him in the past. We've wanted to trade for him, but now we don't even need to give him a lot of money. We just give him a cheap deal, and he can come to San Francisco and be the guy there in San Francisco. We need a veteran receiver, a veteran number one who could guide Ricky Pearsall, who could guide Jawan Jennings, who could guide whatever rookies that we draft in the NFL draft. I think Davante Adams would be a great fit for the 49ers. And plus, he played in a Kyle Shanahan scheme with the New York Jets this past season. So I think Davante goes to the Niners. I think that Davante goes to the Niners. I could also see him going to New Orleans to pair back up with Derek Carr. They have a new coach there in Kellen Moore. I could see that, but I think he goes to the Niners. I think that, you know, he wants to win. Brock Purdy gets a number one wide receiver. So give me Davante Adams to the San Francisco 49ers. How about you?
So I'm going with the Green Bay Packers to sign Davante Adams.
Okay. Chardot's got the Green Bay Packers getting Davante Adams, and he going back to Green Bay this time to play with Jordan Love instead of Aaron Rodgers. Chardot, how about the next one? We stay wide receiver. We go with Chris Godwin. He's had a lot of injury issues the past couple of seasons. I think he's going to leave Tampa Bay. And so for me, Chardot, I think he leaves Tampa Bay, finally leaves Tampa Bay. I don't think Tampa Bay wants to pay him a lot of money. I think he goes to the Los Angeles Chargers. You know, they have a lot of money to spend. I feel like that, you know, the Chargers, they have Ladd McConkey there. He's a pretty good receiver. He's a pretty good route runner, but Chris Godwin is a guy who's, you know, a deep threat, a guy that also can take the top off the defense, and also a guy that can, you know, run good routes. So I'm going to go with him to the Chargers. I think that Jim Harbaugh, they made the playoffs last season in Los Angeles. They know that they have a team that could do better and better. They just need more pieces around Justin Herbert. So I got him going to the Chargers and giving Justin Herbert another weapon.
So I'm going with Chris Godwin signing with the Washington Commanders.
Ooh, that's a good pick. I like that pick. They will have Debo, they would have Chris Godwin, and Terry McLaurin. That would honestly be a very, very good wide receiving threat that they have there, an offense that they would have in Washington, and would really help them a lot. So I do like that pick of yours, Chardot. Let's move on to the next one. Defensive end Khalil Mack. He's a free agent. He played with the Chargers this past season. Khalil Mack was very dominant with the Chargers, helped their defense a lot. You know, this is a guy that's kind of confusing because he's had some injury issues. He says he's not retiring. He's going to play another year. You know, Chardot, I hate to say it, but I think Khalil Mack, he's going to go to a championship caliber team. I think Khalil Mack goes to our 49ers. Khalil Mack wants to win. He's not going to, you know, I don't think he's going to command a lot of money. The Niners want to get another pass rusher opposite of Nick Bosa. There's already talks that we could trade Leonard Floyd to another team. So Khalil Mack, you know, the Niners have wanted him for quite a long time. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch wanted to trade for him back in 2017. They obviously love his game, and I think he would be that monster edge rusher opposite of Nick Bosa to make that defense even more scary and more effective and be a stalwart in that Robert Saleh defense. So I got him going to the 49ers. What about you for Khalil Mack?
I'm going Khalil Mack, signing with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay, wow. He's got Khalil Mack going to the Eagles to help the defending champs bolster their defense. And I could see that because he was part of Vic Fangio's defense in Chicago. So that could definitely be a good reunion there for the Philadelphia Eagles and help, because they're going to lose a lot of talent on defense. So that could definitely replace a lot of the talent that they lose. Let's go to safety Jevon Holland. We are almost halfway. We're almost halfway done with this game. This guy for the Dolphins, really good defensive back for the Miami Dolphins. I think he's a guy that a lot of the teams with a lot of cap space, Chardot is going to want because he's a really good defender, especially in the backfield. He's only 25 years old. He didn't get franchise tagged. He's very good. I think last year, I'm looking at his stats, Jevon Holland had 62 or he had 82 combined or 82 or 62 combined tackles, 1 sack, no interceptions, but the previous year 74 combined tackles, 1 interception. He's a guy that's an interception machine. So for me, Chardot, for Jevon Holland, oh man, this is tough. I'm looking at teams that need need safety help. You know what? How about I'll go to you first on this. Where do you think Jevon Holland goes this offseason?
I'm going with Jevon Holland, signing with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay, you know what? I agree with you. Liam Cohen, their new head coach, needs help there, both on offense and defense. So, you know what? I agree with your take. I got Jevon Holland going to the Jacksonville Jaguars as well. I think that he would make the move to go from South Beach to Jacksonville, and be one of the big time defensive players for the Jacksonville Jaguars along their in their defensive backfield. So I could definitely see that. We agree on that. Let's go to linebacker Zach Bond. Formerly of the Eagles, he was a very great defensive player for the Eagles, signed a 1-year deal with the Saints, or left the Saints, didn't really do a lot with the Saints, signed a 1-year deal with Philly, one of the best signings in NFL history. He balled out for the Philadelphia Eagles. He was a big part of their defense. Chardot, he's going to get a lot of money because he hasn't really gotten paid a lot in his career until now. And he's a veteran. Chardot, I'm going to go with him going back to New Orleans. I think he goes to the New Orleans Saints. They have a new head coach there in Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore, formerly the Eagles offensive coordinator. He knows Zach Bond, obviously, from the Eagles. I think Zach Bond goes back to New Orleans and joins Kellen Moore and helps their defense.
Isaiah, you haven't changed the name on the screen. You still have the old name on the screen still.
Yeah, I'll get to it. But where do you think Zach Bond goes this offseason, the linebacker?
I'm going with Zach Bond, re-signing with the Philadelphia Eagles.
All right, so you got Zach Bond going to Philly. So I got Zach Bond going to New Orleans. You got Zach Bond re-signing with the Eagles. I could see that. He's a big part of Vic Fangio's defense. He was very, very good in that system this past season. He was a big part of why they won the championship. I think he had an interception actually in their game against in the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs. The next player, Amari Cooper. You know, he was traded to the Bills. Didn't really do much for the Bills. Got hurt, so sadly wasn't able to perform. Chardot, I'll go to you first on this. Where do you think Amari Cooper ends up in free agency?
So I'm going with Amari Cooper signing with the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow, so a reunion in Dallas. going back to Dallas. Okay, I could see that. I think Amari Cooper, I don't think he's gonna like have a lot. He's not gonna take up a lot of money just because I think that, I think Amari Cooper, he got hurt, is gonna have to play it on a prove it deal.
Because I have one of my tutors who is a massive Dallas Cowboys fan, and he would love to see Amari Cooper go back to Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think Amari's going to get paid a lot because he didn't really do much last season. Amari Cooper. Chardot for me, I think for Amari Cooper, I'm gonna I got him going to the New England Patriots. I think that they want a proven weapon for Drake May. He's a guy he's a great route runner. He's a very dependable receiver. Doesn't drop a lot of balls. So I got Amari Cooper going to the Patriots to give Drake May another weapon. I think he would help their offense immensely. New England's got a lot of money to spend. So if there's a team that's going to be desperate to give a player a big time contract, I think it's going to be the Patriots. So I got him going to the Patriots. The next one, we'll stay at wide receiver. And we're going to go with this guy. He got tore the ACL, unfortunately, during the season. So who knows if he's going to be able to come back at the start of the season. But it's Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs has been a really great wide receiver in the NFL throughout his entire career. This dude, sadly, I think he might end up with like a 1-year deal or like a 2-year deal just to be like a prove it deal. Chardot, I'm going to go with Stephon Diggs. I think he goes to the Dallas Cowboys. His brother, Trayvon Diggs, plays for the Cowboys in the secondary. They've talked a lot about wanting to team up together. Diggs is not going to get a big time contract. It's going to be a prove it deal. They're going to get Dak Prescott a weapon there in Dallas alongside CeeDee Lamb. They have to improve that offense. So I got Diggs, 1-year deal going to the Dallas Cowboys.
So I'm going with Stephon Diggs signing with the Buffalo Bills to team up with quarterback Josh Allen.
Oh, so you got him going back to Buffalo because he was in Buffalo before he got traded to the Houston Texans last offseason. Okay, so Chardot's got him going back to Buffalo. Now we move on to a guy that we know well. Linebacker, Dre Greenlaw. Niners have wanted to re-sign him for a long time. He's a big part of our defense. Didn't really play a lot last year as he was coming back from that Achilles injury that he suffered in the Super Bowl. But Chardot, I got him going to the 49ers. He's a big part of our defense. Robert Saleh desperately wants him back. He's reportedly been calling Dre Greenlaw so much to try to persuade him to come back to Santa Clara. Dre's not going to get a big-time deal, sadly. He's only going to get like a little contract because he didn't play much last year, and he's coming off a big-time injury. But him and Fred Warner, those guys are the heart and soul of the San Francisco 49ers. I'm going with Dre Greenlaw. I think this was my first re-sign of this free agency game, but I got him re-signing with the 49ers. How about you?
I'm going with Dre Greenlaw signing with the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh, wow. So you got him leaving the 49ers. You think the Niners are going to go younger, Chardot? Is that what you think this season or offseason?
I would really love the 49ers go younger.
Okay, so Chardot's got Dre Greenlaw going to the Indianapolis Colts. The next one, we are almost done with this game. Wow, it's crazy. But DJ Reed Jr., former 49er and Seahawk, he was with the Jets the past couple of years. He's been a baller with the Jets. Chardot, I think this one is fairly easy. I got him going to the Niners. Niners are going to lose Charvarius Ward. DJ Reed has balled out under Robert Saleh. He knows that Niners system well. Robert Saleh loves him. I think Robert Saleh brings him back to San Francisco, and he's going to be a big part of our defensive backfield moving forward. So I got DJ Reed going to the Niners. How about you?
I'm going with DJ Reed going to the 49ers. He was drafted by the 49ers in the 5th round of the 2018 NFL draft, so I got him going to the 49ers.
All right, so both of us agree on that. Let's move on to the next one. We have offensive lineman Mekhi Becton, who played for the Philadelphia Eagles, was a big part of their offensive line. He's in line for a big time contract this offseason. It's going to be interesting to see what Mekhi Becton ends up getting this offseason, especially when free agency rolls around in a couple of days. But Chardot, I'll go to you first on this. Mekhi Becton, where do you think he ends up?
I'm going with Mekhi Becton signing with the Eagles.
All right, he's got Mekhi Becton re-signing with the Eagles. Yeah, I got him re-signing with the Eagles too. I think that the Eagles, they want him back desperately. He was a big part of their offensive line. They value their offensive line immensely. So I think this is a no-brainer for Mekhi Becton. I think he re-signs with Philadelphia. They want to keep their team as much as they can together. They just won a Super Bowl, so I think he goes back to the Eagles. We got a couple more before we go to our trade candidates game, and then we wrap up the show. Let's go with Haason Reddick. The guy, was sat out the first couple of games of the Jets because of a contract dispute. Didn't really play a lot for the Jets, wasn't really that effective, so he might be one of those guys in that category of prove it deals this offseason. For me, Chardot, with Haason Reddick, I think he only gets a 1-year deal. He's got some problems, locker room issues, attitude issues. I don't know who's going to be able to pay him a big time contract. For me, I think he goes to the Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid, they have Chris Jones there, but their defense got battered up in the Super Bowl. They need more pass rush. Haason Reddick is a really good pass rusher. I think that he's going to go to a team that, has already won or is in the process of winning to help bolster their pass rush, and that can take him in their locker room, especially with his attitude issues. I think he goes to the Chiefs and, helps them, has them have a dangerous pass rusher opposite of Chris Jones and makes that defense scarier. So I'm going to go with Haason Reddick to Kansas City.
I'm going with Haason Reddick getting traded to the Detroit Lions.
Oh, wow. So you got Detroit going after Haason Reddick. Do you think Haason Reddick gets more than a 1-year deal, or do you think that he only gets like a 1-year prove it contract from teams?
Say a 1-year proven contract.
All right. The next guy, J.K. Dobbins. He bounced back from all the injuries that he suffered early on in his career with the Baltimore Ravens. He went to Jim Harbaugh's team, and now he flourished with that system. Chardot, I think he stays with the Chargers. He's a big part of their offense. They love to run the football in Los Angeles. He's got a great relationship with Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman, their offensive coordinator. He was very, very good with the Los Angeles Chargers this past season. So I think he runs it back with the Chargers. How about you?
So I'm going with J.K. Dobbins getting traded to the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, okay. So you got him going to the Ravens with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. So wow, that's definitely I don't know if I can see that, but he does have that Ravens connection and that Harbaugh connection. So that could maybe be a possibility. But let's go to a couple more free agents. Defensive end, Chase Young. He played for the Niners, had a lot of attitude issues. Didn't really try hard on the field when he played, sadly. Went to the Saints. He was okay with the New Orleans Saints. But I think this is another guy that could be like a prove it 1-year deal type of guy. Chardot, I'm going to go with Chase Young to the Raiders. I think that, with the Raiders, they're looking to bolster the defense with Pete Carroll there. He gets a 1-year contract. Raiders got some money to spend. So Tom Brady, Pete Carroll, Chip Kelly, they want to win now. I got them getting Russell Wilson. I got them getting Najee Harris. So they got to get another edge rusher opposite of the star Max Crosby and give him more help. So I got Chase Young going to the Las Vegas Raiders and helping the Raiders out.
So I'm going with Chase Young going to the Denver Broncos.
Oh, okay. So you can give Denver an edge rusher, to bolster the defense. I like that. All right, last two free agents before we get into the trade candidates, and then we wrap up the show for tonight. We got the kickers. We got Brandon McManus, former kicker of the Green Bay Packers. He was one of the best kickers in the NFL this past season. He should have a market, especially since you have some teams that need kickers. Chardot, for me, with Brandon McManus, it's tough because there's a lot of teams that, are set at the kicker position. Some teams could need his services, like the Niners. I could see us needing him, especially with Jake Moody struggling, and they could bring in some veteran help there. Chardot, I'm going to go with Brandon McManus. I think Brandon McManus goes to the Jets. They've had some kicker issues. They missed a lot of field goals last season. That's a team that I think needs help in that department. So I think Brandon McManus, I think he goes to the Jets. I think he helps out Aaron Glenn and the New York Jets with their kicking issues.
So I'm going with Brandon McManus. Going to the 49ers. He could be a veteran kicker option to replace Jake Moody, who's been absolutely awful. Like, Jake Moody has been so awful. He's missing kicks. He's just not looking like himself. I think he would be a great option to replace Jake Moody on the 49ers. So I'm going Brandon McManus to be the newest kicker for the San Francisco 49ers.
I could see that, and I thought hard about that when talking about Brandon McManus, and I think he would be a great fit for the 49ers. Last free agent before we go to the trade candidates, Riley Dixon, the punter. I think he's the punter for the Denver Broncos. He's been there for a number of years. I don't think he's going to leave Chardot. He's been with Sean Payton for a number of years. He's a really good punter. I think he stays with Denver. I think that, they like what they've done in Denver, and he's a really good punter for them. So Sean Payton keeps his punter around in Denver.
So I'm going with Riley Dixon going to the Broncos.
Yeah, so both of us agree that Riley Dixon will stick in Denver and just stay there with the Denver Broncos. All right, that was our NFL free agency prediction game. Give us your comments. What do you guys think? Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm going with Riley Dixon to Denver.
All right, yeah, you got Riley Dixon to Denver. I got Riley Dixon. Yeah, I think we both have Riley Dixon to Denver. But that was our NFL prediction game. Let us know in the comments section, where do you guys have some of these free agents that me and Chardot predicted tonight? But before we wrap up the show, Chardot, it's been an amazing show. Yeah, go ahead.
We made our pick, our free agent. We should do a show, and then we should come back and see who we got, which player did we get right.
Yeah, we just did it tonight.
We should see which players did you and I get correct.
Yeah, we just did one tonight. So we just picked our those are our picks. We locked it in. So we'll see when free agency starts on Monday. We'll see next Monday. Where do we have these free agents? But let's go to our last topic of the night, the stay or go. These are trade candidates. So you're going to tell me if these guys are going to stay at their teams, or are they going to go somewhere else and get traded? These are 5 NFL big trade candidates.
I remember. So Isaiah, I remember in carpool chats, I remember you were with Hamza in the car, and yes, should he stay or should he go? Should he go? That's exactly what you're doing here. Remember in the car when you did carpool chats, and you asked Hamza, like, should this player stay or should he go? And then Hamza most of all, Hamza said stay.
Yep, and that's what we're gonna do. We have 5 candidates. Yep, we have 5 candidates. These are candidates that are probably gonna may get traded, and who knows. But Chardot, let's go. Stay or go. I'll go first, and then I'll give it to you. Myles Garrett, the defensive end for the Cleveland Browns, he has requested a trade. He doesn't want to be in Cleveland. He shut off all extension talks with the Cleveland Browns. However, the Browns have said they're not going to trade him, so we'll see who budges. But Myles Garrett badly wants out of Cleveland, and Chardot, I think he gets his wish. I think he gets traded from the Cleveland Browns. He doesn't want to be there. He doesn't have, I think he's only got 1 year left in Cleveland. He wants a new deal. So for me, Chardot, I think Myles Garrett will get traded this offseason. He'll go to a team that, I think the Browns are rebuilding. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. Myles Garrett will be traded, folks, this offseason, and I think that Myles Garrett will go. You know what? I'm going to go with Myles Garrett going to the Denver Broncos. I think he goes to Denver, helps Sean Payton in that defense out. Denver, I think they're coming, right? They're a team that's on the rise. They're coming. They're ready to win now with Bo Nix on a cheap rookie contract. They can give him a new big fat deal. They need help on that defensive line, especially to get after the quarterback. I got Myles Garrett going to the Broncos. I think it'd be a good fit. Denver's got some pieces to trade, and they can give him a big contract. And watch out, if they get Myles Garrett in that division with Patrick Mahomes, and Justin Herbert, with Bo Nix, oh my God, I think Denver could challenge Kansas City for the Chargers for the AFC West next season. So Chardot, I got Myles Garrett going, and I think he goes to the Denver Broncos. How about you?
I'm going with Myles Garrett going to the San Francisco 49ers. I would love to see him get it traded on the 49ers. Myles Garrett to the 49ers, baby. That would be a blockbuster move right there. If he went to the 49ers, that would be the best move the Niners have ever made.
Yes, and imagine this defense. Nick Bosa on one end, Myles Garrett on the other end. Oh my God. Opposing quarterbacks are going to not have any time to throw the football, and he would be a big help for our defense. So wow, Chardot.
If Myles Garrett signed with the 49ers, opposing quarterbacks will be scared of Myles Garrett. He would knock them to the ground, sack them he would just make the quarterback's life we don't want to deal with Myles Garrett if he came to the Niners.
Wow. Okay, Chardot, I see you. Okay. All right. We got wide receiver T. Higgins. He's with the Bengals right now. He just got the franchise tag. He wants a new contract. Chardot, I think he gets traded. And I think he goes, and I think, you know what? You had the Niners splash, right, with Myles Garrett. I think T. Higgins goes to the San Francisco 49ers. He's 25 years of age. He's young. He's durable. He's a very good wide receiver. I think the Niners land Davante Adams and T. Higgins this offseason. That's going to be the splash. There's been already rumors that there's been some chatter about the Niners and T. Higgins. And you know what? When there's smoke, there's fire. So I think the Niners go get Brock Purdy, another big-time weapon. I think T. Higgins goes to the 49ers. But Chardot, do you have T. Higgins? Does he get a new deal in Cincinnati? Or do you think the Cincinnati Bengals trade their star receiver to another team?
So I'm going with T. Higgins staying as a member of the Cincinnati Bengals to reunite with Joe Burrow.
Okay, so Chardot's got him staying in Cincinnati. The next one is someone we talked about earlier in the show. You know, me and Chardot disagreed if this guy should be traded or not, but Brandon Ayuk. We have Brandon Ayuk as another candidate. The Niners are reportedly open to trading Brandon Ayuk. Chardot, I think sadly he gets traded because I think the Niners want to get younger. I think they want to get rid of his contract. And I think, if you get rid of him, bring in T. Higgins, that's a massive upgrade. I think the Niners, they get rid of him. I think that they trade him to another team. I think they'll get a late pick back in return. I got him going, Chardot, to the New England Patriots. I think the Patriots take a chance on Brandon Ayuk. They have money to spend. I think I could see it with Brandon Ayuk in New England. You give it Drake May another weapon. Approve it for Brandon Ayuk. I got Brandon Ayuk going to the Patriots. I think this move will, if Ayuk's healthy, I think that, even if Ayuk's not the same, I think he can still help the New England Patriots. So I got Brandon Ayuk going to the New England Patriots. You got Ayuk staying in San Francisco, or do you got Ayuk going to another team?
I'm going with Brandon Ayuk getting traded to the Washington Commanders to team up with his teammate Deebo Samuel.
Wow. So you got the Commanders getting Deebo, Ayuk, and I think you had the Commanders getting someone else as well. I have to look back. I think did you have Amari Cooper going to the to the Commanders?
I got Amari Cooper going to the Cowboys.
Oh, right. You had, I think it was Stephon Diggs that you had going to the Commanders. Yeah. So, wow, you have Commanders getting Stephon Diggs, Brandon Ayuk, and Deebo Samuel with Terry McLaurin. Wow, that would be a really crazy wide offense for the Commanders. So we have two more, and that is Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp, the Rams have already said, they've already informed him that Cooper Kupp is going to be either traded or released this offseason. That contract is tough to get rid of. I'm not going to lie to you. I think that that contract is very, very tough to get rid of. He makes a lot of money. So I think the Rams, Chardot for Cooper Kupp, I don't think he stays. I don't think he gets traded, because I think he's going to get cut. I don't think anybody's going to really take a chance on Coop or take a chance and eat that contract. So I think Cooper Kupp gets cut. And sadly, I think Cooper Kupp, where I think he ends up, I think he goes to the Green Bay Packers with Matt LaFleur. They need an established receiver there. He still can play. So I think he goes to the Packers with Matt LaFleur. He's been in Sean McVay's system his entire career. He's not what he once was, like I said, but I think he gives Jordan Love another weapon. So I think Cooper Kupp, he's not going to get traded. He's going to get cut, and he ends up in Green Bay with the Cheeseheads.
I'm going with Cooper Kupp, staying with the Los Angeles Rams, to reunite with Matthew Stafford, who's still currently on the Rams right now.
Chardot, are you sure? Because the Rams have already told Cooper Kupp that they're going to get rid of him.
I want Cooper Kupp to stay on the Rams.
Okay, so you have the Rams reversing course, and you got the Rams keeping Cooper Kupp. Last but not least, quarterback Kirk Cousins. He got benched in Atlanta. Looks like the Falcons are going to move on from Kirk Cousins. Chardot, I'll go to you first on this. You think Kirk Cousins gets traded, and where does he go?
So, Isaiah, let me change my prediction of what I said about Cooper Kupp. So, Cooper Kupp is getting traded to the Denver Broncos instead of the LA Rams.
Ooh, okay. I like that pick. Give Bo Nix another weapon. I could see that. How about Kirk Cousins? Where do you think he goes?
I'm going with Kirk Cousins getting traded to the 49ers.
Wow, so back up to Brock Purdy for Kirk Cousins?
Yes.
Ooh, okay. I Kirk Cousins, Kyle Shanahan loves him, so that could be an option for Kirk Cousins. Sadly, I don't think Kirk's gonna get another starting gig. I just don't. He's not the same like he once was. So you know what, Chardot? I agree with you. I think Kirk Cousins gets released. The Falcons take on that big cap hit. They give the job to Michael Penix Jr., and I think he comes to the Niners as a backup. We need a backup, right? We have Josh Dobbs, a free agent. We have Brandon Allen, free agent. I think Kirk Cousins comes to the Niners, cheap backup with Brock Purdy. And oh my gosh, that is going to be electric with Cousins and Brock, in the same quarterback room. That's going to be absolutely insane. So me and Chardot, we got
if the 49ers sign Kirk Cousins in the offseason, Levi Stadium is going to go absolutely like ruckus. It's going to be absolutely in that building. It's going to be electric in that building if the Niners sign Kirk Cousins.
You know what? I'll also throw another team in for Kirk Cousins. If this team doesn't get the quarterback that they think that they could get, I could see Cleveland Browns as an option for Kirk Cousins. And I also could see, to be honest, I also could see Tennessee if they don't get Sam Darnold. And I could see the Giants because the Giants, they want a veteran quarterback as well. Oh, Chardot, one more name we forgot to mention. Or actually, you know what? I'm going to scrap my Kirk Cousins to the 49ers take. I don't think he goes there because I don't think the Niners want to create a distraction for Brock Purdy. For me, Chardot, for Kirk Cousins, I think he goes to the Cleveland Browns. I think that Kirk Cousins, gets cut, goes there as a backup starting quarterback. Deshaun Watson, I don't think it's going to be the same. So I think he goes there with the Cleveland Browns. I could definitely see that. Last but not, we forgot one free agent. We did our NFL free agent prediction game, and that was Drew Lock, backup quarterback. I got Drew Lock going. My man, Drew Lock. Where do I? Hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me change my Kirk Cousins prediction. I'm going with Kirk Cousins getting traded to the Cleveland Browns. So I agree with you. So you and I both agree that Kirk Cousins will go to the Cleveland Browns.
Yes. So we have Kirk Cousins going to the Browns. Drew Lock is the next guy. Chardot, people will be singing, "Go Drew Lock, go Drew Lock, go Drew Lock, go Drew Lock, go" in San Francisco. He's going to sign with the Niners as our backup quarterback. The Niners have reportedly liked Drew Lock for several years now. We need a backup. Drew Lock's got that arm talent. He's got the arm talent. He's got the, he's young, so he could be like, he could be kind of like what Sam Darnold was as a project for Kyle Shanahan. He thrived. His best years were under Rich Scangarello, who ran that Kyle Shanahan offense. Drew Lock will be a San Francisco 49er and be Brock's backup quarterback. How about you for Drew Lock?
So I'm also going with Drew Lock getting traded to the San Francisco 49ers.
All right. So, yep, those are our free agency predictions. Chardot's biggest one of the night, Myles Garrett goes to the Niners. My biggest one of the night, I had Sam Darnold to the Titans. I had T. Higgins going to the 49ers, but we shall see because NFL free agency, Chardot, opens up on next Monday. I'm going to be in Phoenix for spring training, and I'm going to be keeping tabs on my phone, so it's going to be very exciting, but free agency opens up on Monday. It's going to be very, very exciting. Can't wait to see what unfolds in 2025 NFL free agency. But Chardot, it's been a great show. Appreciate you for having me, for coming on the show tonight with me. I know James couldn't make it because he had some technical difficulties, so hopefully we'll get him on for another show sometime next week. But Chardot, what are your final thoughts for tonight's show before we end the program for tonight, as it's or it is past midnight for tonight's program?
Isaiah, my final thoughts for the show. It's great. It's great that you had me on the show today. I'm a big fan of the MI6 Sports Network. I try and tune into the show every time I can. Some days I'm busy, so I'm not able to come on the show. But anytime I get the opportunity, I always come on because I'm a big fan of you. I'm a big fan of all the members of the MI6 Sports Network. You really keep this network grounded. That's what I really like about it. And viewers, make sure to click that like button, smash that subscribe button, and ring that notification bell for the MI6 Sports Network because they come up with a lot of great stuff on this network. They do a lot of shows on here. Isaiah would really appreciate it if you would show love to the network and click that like and subscribe button. Because you never want to miss out what they have to come on this network because they come with a lot of great stuff on the show. Like they have free agency specials, NFL draft shows, NBA draft, all different stuff. So if you don't want to miss out, definitely click that like and subscribe button.
Appreciate that.
You do not want to miss what they have on the network. You do not want to miss it.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that ad, Chardot. Really appreciate it.
I've known Isaiah for a long time. He's one of my greatest friends, and I love coming on the network.
Yeah,
You
man.
know,
Appreciate that, man.
we
Appreciate
go
all
back
that
a
love,
long
man.
time, man. Me and Isaiah go back a long time. Me and Isaiah.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do, Shardo.
Yeah,
Loved having you on, man. It was a
and I
great
wish
show.
Ashton or Shiram could also join the show as well.
Yeah,
So
maybe another time we'll have them on for sure.
And Shiram if they want to come on the show, because we got to have a. I mean, today we had you and I. It was fun, you and I on the panel, but we got to have like a 6-person panel, man. That would be really good. Like everybody like on the screen at one time. That would be so great. I mean, that would be something,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, maybe they could. Yeah, maybe they could join our St. Patrick's Day special, which we'll have, by the way, on St. Patty's Day on March 17th. So make sure you guys tune in for that. We're gonna have a St. Patrick's Day special coming up.
Day, make sure to wear anything green.
Yeah,
because you don't
exactly.
want to get pinched. So if you forget to wear green, you're gonna get pinched.
Yes, you're gonna get pinched. But
if you
guys,
forget to wear green, so make sure to wear something green. It doesn't matter what it is: a green sweatshirt, a green shirt, a green hat. All it has to do is you have to wear something green. We don't care what it is. It could be green socks. It could be a green hat. It could be a green shirt. It could be a green sweatshirt, green shoes, whatever. So make sure not to forget to wear the color green for the St. Patrick's Day special.
Yeah, but make sure you guys tune in for the St. Patrick's Day special.
I'm definitely. Can I join you for the St. Patrick's Day special?
Yeah, definitely, and we'll talk about it more off the air. But guys,
it was great coming on the show, and it was great that you had me on. You know, I've never been on a show this late, so that's something special. Because, but it's great about doing a show this late. Because, it's. I mean, I love it. Get to be here, talking to you on the network. Both fellow Niner fans, you and I.
Yeah. Well, Shardo, it's been a great show, man. I appreciate you for hopping on and free agency.
And I'll definitely be here next time. I wanted to join at 9:00 when you started the show, but unfortunately I had some stuff that I had to do. So I joined the show late, but join the show late is better than not join the show at all.
Exactly. Good point. But look, it's been a great show. Appreciate all the fans for tuning in. My final thoughts before we end the show for tonight is that I'll be in Phoenix for spring training. I don't know if you guys can see the pictures, but I'll be in Phoenix for spring training coming up on Saturday. So we'll be doing maybe do a show from Phoenix. I don't know. We'll see on that. But I'll be going to Phoenix. It's going to be a fun time. If you guys haven't been to Phoenix yet, I do recommend all of you guys to go down to Phoenix and experience it, because it's definitely very, very fun and a very unique environment for spring training. So have fun.
I was planning to do the Lakers are playing on the 3rd, so I was planning to get you on the show because you're a Laker fan. So I was planning to get you on the show. I know the game is a little far away, but I'll definitely email you. I'll definitely let you know closer to the date. We'll plan something out because you're a Laker fan, so we'll plan something close to the date because I'm planning to do that with you. So I'll keep you updated on the closer to the date. I'll keep you updated. We'll stay in touch. I have your phone number, and I have your contact info, so we'll definitely stay in touch. But it was a great show, and I think you do a great job. Like I said,
appreciate it.
Grounded. You do a great job, and I'll definitely see you. Just let I've turned on the bell notifications for the MI6 Sports Network.
Appreciate it.
Updated next time you go live again. So it was great. So I'm about to get ready to go to bed now, but it was great coming on the show, and let's go Niners. Let's win another Super Bowl next year.
Let's go, man. Exactly. Let's go Niners for sure.
Go Niners. Let's win that 5th Lombardi Trophy next year and bring that back to San Francisco. And Brock Purdy, Brock Purdy's going to be great next year.
Yes, sir. He's going to lead us there. Promise you that.
Hopefully he wins MVP next year in Super Bowl.
For sure. But yeah, guys, it's been a great show. Like we said, appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. Couple announcements I do want to make before we sign off is that I think Ben's gonna have a show sometime this week. I don't know. I have to check in on with him on that. But also we may do a special spring training show coming up sometime this week. But make sure you guys tune in. Like I said, St. Patrick's Day special coming up on March 17th.
The way to find me on social media, my YouTube channel is SGA Sports Talk channel. I'm at 347 subscribers. I'm on the road to 400. So if all your people can go to my YouTube channel and give me that like and a sub, it would mean the world to me. Because I'm trying to get to. My goal is to get to 500 subs so I can start getting a channel membership so people can, pay money to subscribe, buy memberships to my channel. So if your viewers can go to my channel and give me a like and sub, I would appreciate that if your viewers can do that for me, because I'm trying to reach the 400, and I really want to get there. So, if they could go there and give me that like and sub, that would mean the world. That would make my day, because I would love if all your viewers would give me all the love and support, and give love and support to the MI6 Sports Network, as well, and Isaiah Young.
I appreciate it, man. And yeah, like Chardot said, go and give him a like and a subscribe and a follow as well on YouTube.
And you just have to, and my handle is right on the screen. So go to my YouTube channel and click on my handle and there's a black button that's to subscribe. Just click on that button and you're going to be subscribed to my show.
All right. Yep. It's been a great show, guys. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you guys.
Thanks for having me on the show. It was a true honor.
Yep. And we'll see you guys next time here on the MI6 Sports Network. Have a good night, everybody.
Bang, bang, not again.
Purdy out of the shotgun, drops a couple of steps, going to take a deep shot to Brandon Ayuk. It's deflected and caught.
Cousins, first read taken away. Left side, he throws. Wide open pitch. From being able to make a play on that football. That's where Sutter was so good last year in the red zone. Nix evades the run. Nix the fake. Another fake, and he spins into the end zone. They're going to get a free play. Rodgers is the master at it, and a touchdown by Lazard. Jones on the fake, pressure coming, and he's sacked by Parsons.
God, corner. Motion man Hudson. The throw, caught. Hudson lost the ball. Looked like a touchdown. Instead, it's a turnover.
On the pocket. Cuts away from Chenal, who's trying to get after him for a second time, but the ball is thrown to the end zone, and it's caught! On it to McCaffrey, right up the middle, and a stiff arm, McCaffrey for 6.